There's cornerstones to wealth. And black folks don't even know what those cornerstones are. There's 6 wealth building foundational blocks that have to be in a portfolio in order for that portfolio to be balanced and diversified. It doesn't include an MLM. It includes businesses. It includes real estate. It includes precious metals, rhodium, platinum, palladium, gold, silver. It includes annuities. It includes equities. It includes the foreign currency exchange. Negroes don't even understand half of those terms that I'm just giving about. Or if they do, they're not putting those terms inside a portfolio to ensure growth over the next 100 years. Negroes can't plan past the 1st and the 15th. That's a challenge. We have to address those challenges. We have to have technical assistance. We have to have conferences. We have to have actual experts. We have to write books. We focus our energies and everything.
All right. So, I got 2 things going on here. I want to talk about multiple or 3 different topics of discussion. Get settled here at the same time. So just bear with me. Happy weekend and Saturday to you. It's an actual raining weekend in Mississippi, so it's actually giving me the opportunity to catch up on some of my reading, right? To get ahead in some of my reading. So I'm reading this book, Rich Man, Poor Bank. And yesterday I heard a recording, or I heard a live video by Grant Cardone. I listen to him often speak about wealth building. And this book actually brought out some of the things that he was discussing or brought out, so I wanted to share that with you. And so when we talk about the Rule of 72, a lot of people know it from the great quote by Benjamin Franklin that says, "An investment is knowledge that pays the best interest," and also another quote that the most sacred wonder of the world is compound interest, right? And so we took those quotes and we ran with it. But let's really talk about the Rule of 72. The Rule of 72 simply means that if you take the amount of money that you are investing by your rate of return and you divide that by 72, that gives you the amount of years for your money to double or get that compound interest. So for example, if you get 1% interest and on a return, and it would take 72 years at that 1% for your money to earn interest. So that's why this book highly does not advocate putting your money in savings account and banking systems because you're getting 0.5% in most cases. Or if you're lucky, you might find something that gives you a 1% return on your money. But if inflation is averaging at 4%, then you still, if inflation or the amount that your dollar power is worth every year is at 3% or 4%, then your inflation rate is greater than your compound interest rate. So most people, for that matter, they're looking for investment opportunities where they're at least getting between a 6% and 10% return on their money, right? At least a 6% and a 10% return on their money, so that their money is now doubling every 12 years. That compound interest is doubling every 12 years and every 7 years. And so now the key is, where do I find these investments? But even more, like for example, if you take the Rule of 72, you divide it by 0.5 interest, which mostly a lot of the savings accounts are offering, then your money will take even longer. It'll be 144 years to double. It'll take your money even 144 years to double. So the Rule of 72 is something that we are not taught in school. But if you had like 0.1 interest, it'll take your money 7,200 years, right, to double their interest and to double their compounding effect. So you want to look for things that at least average on 6 or 10%. But before you can get to that point, you must first know how to build your credit and move your credit from credit to cash flow. How to move your credit from credit to cash flow. And I'm going to put the book down just for a moment. But did you know that the highest cash flow amount that people deal with that's coming out of their paychecks is 2/3 of their paycheck is for taxable income? And there are legal ways to reduce your taxable income, right? There are legal ways. 2/3 of your check is going towards taxable income or income taxes. And there are ways to increase your cash flow, legal ways in which you can cut down 2/3 of your cash flow that could be coming into you every month. And now with the credit enhancement services, you can enhance your credit, and now you can get lower interest rates. That helps increase your cash flow. You can get some things refinanced. You can get things that will also increase your cash flow when you refinance your options. And now you learn cash flow strategies, right? Cash flow strategies to help you eliminate bad debt. Now, some people think there is no good debt or there is no bad debt, but there is debt that you can have that can help you have passive income and that can help you increase your cash flow or your capital. Capital is other people's money or money that you've earned from investing, right? And those are avenues that we first want to teach you to enhance your credit with. Now, if you just want to enhance your credit to purchase a home, to buy a car, to refinance bad debt, to lower interest rate, those are good things to do. But and those are good levels and ambitions to start for. But you know, looking back on hindsight, I wish someone would have. You know, when you're looking for a home, they tell you, well, you qualify for this much. And I think sometimes, depends on the economy, when you study the economy, you might not technically qualify for that amount of house. And you may be putting yourself in a burden, because when you really look at your mortgage, especially if you're on a 30-year mortgage, if you really look at, if you paid that mortgage, like for a $200,000 mortgage, if you really paid that, and I'm not talking about adding an extra payment, that won't help put a dent in it. I'm not suggesting to pay bi-weekly, that won't help put a dent in it, but you will pay 3 times the amount back in interest, almost $236,000 back in interest. But if you have positive cash flow, there are ways to even cut down the interest on your mortgage, where you can go from a 30-year mortgage now to a 5 and 10-year mortgage. But it only works if you have positive cash flow. So what is positive cash flow? Is when I have more money coming in every month than I have outgoing. How much more money that I have coming in every month that I have outgoing. So Einstein's formula, he said, if you understand compound interest is the greatest wonder of the world, it only works if you know what exactly what, you know, I guess I'm saying investments that you could put in at 6 or 10%, right? But then you have risky investments. And I tell people, if you don't have positive cash flow, risky investment is not where you want to start. And then to a certain degree, if you don't have a certain income, risky investments is not where you want to start. You want to start, if you're not at a certain income level, you want to start at a investment that will give you passive income or capital cash flow that's more comfortable and sustainable in what you're trying to do. So what I try to educate people, you know, first and foremost, if you're not in a position to get a higher income at the very moment, and I teach people how to give themselves a pay raise out of their current paycheck, and then we teach you how to increase your credit score to now increase even more of your cash flow. And I always tell people, start with the basic education of knowing what to do yourself, because if you are doing much of the smaller things to get your credit score enhanced, then if you need to pay a bigger company or a professional more so in the field, you would just have to pay them for a shorter amount of times, and they won't linger it out, prolong the process, because you've done some of the minor work and you're just hiring them to be the heavy lifter, right? The heavy lifter to get your credit where it needs to be for some things that you may not have the knowledge to be able to dispute on your own. So I always tell people to go to www.mycreditispower.com and order this book, because this book would do a lot of those the basic things you need to do, and it can save you time and also save you money, but also in the process it will help educate yourself. So that's pretty much what I want to say about the rule of 72. You know, if you really need to know your interest rate, and a lot of people they want to live their best life now, meaning that they don't want investments that they have to wait until they're 65 and 70 to enjoy the rate of return, to get all that money back. There are some people who want to do things to fix their credit, to fix their cash flow and their current rate, to enjoy their money in their life now, you know. And so you want to do both of them simultaneously. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate you commenting. You want to try to do both simultaneously so that you can enjoy yourself now and later, you know, right? Kind of like the candy slogan, now later. You want to enjoy yourself now and later, because we all know that many people are paying into a social security system today that they may not see any of their money in retirement. So the last thing I'm going to share is that, you know, people need to know how to make more of their paycheck. They need to know how money works, how cash flow works, and they need to enjoy their money now, but also have plans to enjoy it later. And they also need to know how to the mechanics of how credit works and how to you know, enhance their credit score. Look, I just got an offer today. I did about 30 minutes ago. 0% interest rate to January of 2019 on a credit card, and I used that transfer to pay down an installment loan, not because the installment loan interest rate was high, it was very low, but because that helps now reduce my cash flow. My installment loan was a fixed amount that I have and that I was paying on. It was low interest rate, but now the credit card interest rate is 0%. On top of that, I think it was like 4.9% for the installment loan. And then now the payment on my credit card is much lower than what it was on the fixed rate. So what do I do with that extra $300 a month? Well, I use that money now to build up my overall cash flow, to make investment in things that I want to invest in that can bring me a larger percentage of cash flow that will take care of, 8 months from now, that credit card transfers that I just did. So remember these two rules, simple rules when you travel down the path towards financial freedom. Is rule number 1, you must, now this book says you must keep your money from the bank. A lot of people use the banking system to electronically pay their bills, to direct deposit their checks, and that is fine. But if you're using for a savings, I use the banking system also for a HELOC, a line of credit, so that I can invest, use that line of credit to invest in more real estate. I also use the banking system for direct deposit, but I also look at banking systems like Bank of America, Navy Federal, that will help me to build business credit. Why? Because business credit is like invisible credit. You have to know which ones do and don't, but they don't show up on your credit report. And when your personal credit report looks good, now more business income. Some people may want to invest in their business, in truck driving businesses. That's a very good investment right now into the truck driving industry. Anything real estate is a great investment that will bring you passive income. because a lot of people are renting. There are 3 billion people on earth, so